If you want more pars and you're pulling your shot or you're hitting it dead right or slice, let's make sure you're not pitching the shaft, whether it's a driver or iron, any club in your bag, forward. All right, so a lot of players that take the club back with a lot of forearm, lead forearm rotation, where this palm is facing to the ground at this point in the swing, all right, you're most likely on the downswing going to go ahead and tip it forward, so get a little steep. All right, so if you lay it off here, it's really hard to lay it out even more. All right, so instead your body does the opposite. So if that sounds like you, all right, go ahead and take the club back. What you feel is no forearm rotation. All right, so you actually want to take the club to where the shaft is parallel, and then you're going to hinge up. All right, so you can see the palm is vertical and not this way. When it gets this way during the takeaway, it gets you too flat. All right, and on the downswing, you're most likely going to do this. All right, so if we get here in the takeaway, then in the downswing we can do this, lay it down. All right, and that's shallowing the club. That's a really important point.
All right, I'm working with a very talented gal, and she sent me in her swings through the More Pars Coach program. She has a great move. She is here originally on the left with her orange shirt, and I want you to pay attention to her hands. All right, as she takes the club back. Pay attention specifically to how far her hands move away from that line that I've drawn, that little yellow line. All right, you can see that her hands are moving away from her body. I call this moving the hands out and around. So she's got too much lead forearm rotation. All right, and it's setting the club way back here. All right, too flat. So unfortunately, because of that, she's going to get too steep on the downswing. All right. So on her downswing, she is above the yellow line. Her club should actually be on that line. So she is very steep here, coming down. All right, and it was all a product of her takeaway. She makes a really good move, though. Now, here on the right is the after. Check this out. So I gave her some instruction to feel like she's dragging her hand straight back, and she's not rolling this forearm at all. And she did an amazing job. You can see that her hands are not moving away from her body. She's keeping the club head outside of her hands. I mean, she does a brilliant job here. Now she comes down. She's perfectly on plane. Look at that. All right, so that is amazing transformation in a very short period of time. Amazing. All right, so I really wanted to share that because the takeaway really does set the stage for the entire swing. You got to get this part right. And Chris did an amazing job. So this is the before and the after. Big difference. Big.
All right, so if you're a player that's a little steep at the bottom, right, you're not dead over the top, right, you're just a little steep, the first thing to check is your takeaway. Are you rolling this forearm too much where this palm is facing the ground? All right, that's just an easy way to see if you're over rotating that forearm, because a lot of players don't feel that. Instead, you got to take the club straight back, and then from here the club works up, and when you get to the top, it'll be easier to then shallow the club. So now the palm is facing the ground, and that's what we want on the downswing. We don't want it on the takeaway. All right, because when we do it in the takeaway, we're going to be flat at the top, and we're going to want to pitch it forward on the downswing. You're going to get roadblocked, and you're not going to be able to release. All right, so this is a really important subtle point. That's very important. All right, the other subtlety to pay attention to is your trail arm on the downswing. All right, so if you're mishitting your balls and you just can't figure out why, check this trail arm on the downswing. All right, so as you come down into the impact zone, I'm going to take this arm off. Is your elbow looking like this? Or is it like this against your side? So players that are a little steep at the bottom, they may not be crazy over the top, but they're a little steep, they'll have this look with their trail arm, where it's getting away and it's pointing this way. All right, if we have the proper forearm rotation and laying it down, meaning shallowing the club from the top. All right, so this palm is facing the ground. This arm should be in like this. All right, where our arms are in front of our body and our elbow is leading. All right, we're not having this look. If we have this look right here, the only way to change anything from here as far as trying to get that club squarely on the ball is to do this, and it's too late. So you oftentimes just dump it. All right, so you're gonna go this way. All right, because your elbow is out of position. This trail elbow is out of position. So if it comes down like this, you're out of position. If you're a little steep and it comes down like this, you're out of position. You need to get this arm in front. All right, so then you can properly release the club.